Welcome back to this Sunday's edition of Sports Live. We had a fantastic chat before the ad break about Bafana Bafana and, of course, the upcoming encounter against Algeria, and now we'll be talking to Zakithi Nene, who is a South African sprinter specializing in the 400-meter event. Zakithi competed at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics in Japan, and he has now qualified for the Olympics in Paris in France that will be taking place later this year. He is joining us via Teams from KwaZulu-Natal. A very good evening to you, Zakithi, and welcome to Sports Live.
Good evening to you too, and yeah, man, thank you for having me and whatnot. This game is a huge surprise, honestly, to really engage in my journey, but I'm really glad and I'm happy to be joining you guys today.
Absolutely. We are definitely going to talk about the Olympic qualification. I want us to just take it back a bit because you competed in the 400-meter event at the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games, where you clocked an impressive 45.74 seconds. How was that experience in your first Olympics?
So leading up to the Olympics in terms of qualifying and stuff, so I hadn't really ran the automatic qualifying standard. So I was then I then made the team as part of the next best ranked athletes, so part of the top 48 athletes in the world. So that's how I got a feature for the Olympics, and it was actually just first time qualifying for my first individual event for Team South Africa, because before that I've just been showing up for the relay setup. So it was just a huge, a bit of an experience to take in, obviously that was also during those COVID times. So the stadium atmosphere really wasn't giving, as obviously we were running in empty stadiums. But I mean, it was just an experience for me, competing against the best in the world at the Olympics, being the first time I'm actually presenting my country in the individual event, so it was quite an experience.
No, absolutely, because you touch on such an important point there, Zakithi. We know that those Tokyo Olympics took place during that COVID-19 pandemic, and most of the sporting activities were halted because of that very pandemic. So how did it affect your preparations? Let's delve deeper into that.
It was definitely a whole lot tricky, obviously, as everyone would have experienced. I think we just, when obviously the government announced that contact-free sports are allowed to start training and competing, my coach and I obviously seized on that opportunity, and we just try to get in some work in, and then try to head to Europe, and then surprisingly enough in Europe, the restrictions were so much lighter than what it was here in South Africa, so it was just easier to compete, easier to find races. And just try and get your groove back, because we just hadn't had a full year of no racing. So, so it was just very tricky. It was just very tricky, but I'm just glad I just could come out of it with no serious health implications or anything like that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And of course, the great news, which is what we started on at the top of the show, you have qualified for the Paris Olympics. A huge congratulations to you. They are, of course, taking place later this year. The big question is, how are those preparations going? Because I am thinking, and the entire country is thinking, that you are definitely looking to do better this time around.
Definitely, So I was actually very fortunate enough to qualify last year when the window opened, and I did it twice already. So it just allowed me to actually follow a full-on cycle of in terms of my training, and actually be able to gauge myself well, that I peak at the right time, instead of trying to rush the process and trying to get a qualifier along the way, and then try to rebuild again to find fitness at the Tokyo at the Paris Olympics. So right now I'm just able to go through my phases. I'm able to pick the races that I want to run, and pick all the boxes leading up to it. So at the previous two editions of World Champs, I've been finishing in the semis. So I think right now I'm at the right age, and I think I've also gained enough experience in the circuit as well to start challenging for those finals and start talking about medals,
Yeah, absolutely. And just in terms of big events, are you going to be taking part in any as a lead up to the Olympics, which of course also forms part of your preparations?
So I'll be heading to Europe at the end of April, beginning of May. So hopefully I can get into like a few Diamond League races and some gold meets. But obviously those are like those two major championships. Those are two like major events I'm looking at, and then head back home to South Africa just to taper off and then rebuild for Paris. So yeah, that's the plan right now. But yeah, so just head to Europe end of April, and then spend a good 2-3 months there competing, racing, finding fitness, form, and shape, and then head back home, just sharpen up, and then Paris it is.
Oh, and it's really going to be a fantastic one. I want us to now cast an eye back to your 2023, because we must admit you had a fantastic season. You won your first Diamond League 400-meter race in Sweden. I mean, take us through that milestone, you know, and how it ranks in terms of your achievements on your career.
Obviously, for those that don't know, obviously, like the Diamond League is like the most prestigious one-day invitational race, you know. So what happened was, I wasn't even on the start list on the entry list for that Diamond League in Sweden. There was just like a last-minute withdrawal, and I got a phone call from my agent stating that the meeting organizer wants you here. You know, he actually wants you to come compete and not anyone else, as I was like your next best ranked athlete. So literally, I didn't waste no time. Spoke to my coach. My coach was like, "Yeah, no, be fine." So I literally landed like the day before the actual competition. You know, whereas other people were usually like there like a few days before just to try and acclimatize. I got there literally the day before, sharpened up, said, "Let's go and race." You know, and to be like not on the list and actually going out there and winning the actual event. It was just like a surreal moment for me, you know, that I'll really cherish, you know, for a long time to come. You know, that's like my first Diamond League win, and hopefully like there's more to come.
I think it's absolutely incredible. The fact that there was a withdrawal, you had limited time to acclimatize and went on to win it. You know, it just speaks to your pedigree as an athlete. But on top of that, you also represented South Africa at the World Athletics Championships in Budapest last year. That experience, chat to us about it.
Obviously, heading to Budapest, I had really high expectations for myself. You know. Obviously, that's coming at the back of winning my first Diamond League. So I was finding the perfect shape. I was in the perfect shape leading up to the championship. And I just didn't get it right on the day, you know, like messed up a little bit in my heat. And then from there onwards, I got a bad lane draw for the semis, which obviously didn't do well for me, you know, to try and make it to the final. I thought I had a chance. I really did think I had a chance to make that final last year, but you know, this year's the time to right all those wrongs.
Sure. Yeah, very unfortunate there. But of course, Zakithi, it also, you know, serves as a lesson and has helped you to become better, where we saw, you know, previous to that in 2022, where you reached the semi-finals of the World Champs in the USA, you know. Did you find that it was a competitive track? You know, was it a highlight of your career so far?
Definitely the standard has increased, you know. I mean, we had actually quite a few athletes, like quite a few more athletes in 2023 that went sub 45 as compared to 2022, you know. So the standard has gone up. So, I mean, obviously you as an athlete as well need to up your game, you know. So it was just like good experience leading up to the next World Championships, you know. So. And I think I'm competing with the guys in the circuits already, you know, just gives like a whole lot of confidence knowing that I can actually, this is where I am, this is where I belong. And there's like literally more to achieve, you know.
And of course, last year, in terms of those achievements, you won the KZN Sports Personality of the Year award. To be recognized at home must be such a proud moment.
Definitely, no. So like obviously the KZN Sports Personality Award was a little different, you know. This is the one where it's actually voted for by the public, you know. So to actually get that sort of recognition, given the type of athletes that I was actually going against, you know, you had Grant Williams, who just won a World Cup. You have Nonkululeko Mlaba, who also just like they got a silver in the cricket.
Yeah.
So to literally get the edge over them, and knowing very well that athletics is not really recognized as much as those two other sporting codes, you know, it was just really like, I was just really overwhelmed with the love and support really that I got from people, you know, from family and friends, and obviously just like, you know, like everyone like in KZN as a whole, you know. So it was just, yeah, just like a surreal moment, you know, and yeah.
Oh, that is so brilliant. I know we are running out of time, but we have to talk about your relationship with Coach Victor. You know, how has he helped you in blossoming your career? And then also maybe just to give us an insight in terms of injury concerns. Is there anything at the moment?
At this point in time, we are training healthy, injury-free, so that's always like a good sign. And in terms of like my relationship with Coach Victor Vaz, it dates way back, really, you know, from like 2017. So I almost said it's a love-hate relationship, but it's more love than hate. But you know, like he really just came into my life a bit more than a coach, you know. Before I even got like my first pro contract, he literally like went out of his way to try and somewhat assist me in being able to achieve what I want to achieve, you know. Because I think there was a point in time where he had much greater faith in my ability than I did in myself, you know. So just having someone backing you like that, showing you that love and support, and also being able to give that firm hand when needs be, you know, it's just like a really a happy medium, you know, a happy balance for a really good relationship on and off the track. So I really can't complain. I love him to bits too, and yeah.
Oh, that is so brilliant, Zakithi. It's so great to hear that you are injury-free. And of course, you know, just speaking so well of Victor Vaz, Zakithi Nene is, of course, a South African sprinter specializing in the 400-meter event. He has qualified to compete at the 2024 Paris Olympics. And of course, we will be chatting to him throughout the year to find out about those preparations as he gears up for the games. Let's take a quick ad break. After this, we've got more for you on Sports Live.